Good evening and welcome to Red All Over YouTube, which is the YouTube version of the Liverpool fanzine Red All Over the Land. It's a special show tonight because we're celebrating 30 years of Red All Over the Land, the longest lasting and only surviving Liverpool fanzine. You'll also see some highlights from the Red All Over the Land anniversary show, which was held at the White Star Line Hotel in Liverpool on Saturday night, with appearances from Liverpool legends John Barnes and Peter Beardsley. The creator and editor of Red All Over the Land is John Pearman. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Graham. And tomorrow is actually the 19th of November. That is the official birthday. So anybody want to send in any donations, do it tomorrow, please.
Brilliant. Okay, we've also got the comments open. So if you'd like to congratulate John or make a comment about Saturday night or anything over the 30 years of Red All Over the Land, you can do it there. Just check that out. So that's if you're watching live, by the way. If it's a recording, obviously we won't read your comments. John, let's talk about how you became a Liverpool fan. It was all because of your mum, wasn't it?
More or less, yes. I used to go and watch Leicester in my school days. Then when I got the opportunity of coming up to Liverpool, I started to do that. It's been quite a journey. The thing about Liverpool is Liverpool it wasn't just the football club, it was the city. It was always in the news, be it the docks, the things like the overhead railway, all the history of the city itself. You couldn't help but think about it. And I can remember when they announced this is the original plan for a channel tunnel, and my mother said to me, "We've had one of them for years." I now know it's not quite as the channel tunnel, but
No.
yeah. So Liverpool was a thing that you got your head around pretty quick, and of course the Beatles, things like that. It just made you want to be part of something. And then of course there was the coming of Shankly, the great teams, which in effect, in reality, started, although we had a couple in the 60s, 63, 64, 65, 66 era, it then went relatively quiet. And then, of course, what they called the Shankly second team, new team came along. And from there, it was just a roller coaster of success most of the time. We did have a barren time in the 90s, but, it was just fun all the way. And the Liverpool fans, they just make you feel part of something when back then, when you were with them. They didn't discriminate against you because you were from out of town. I mean, they were just brilliant. And I met quite a lot of people in the early days when I was going up there on a regular occasion and speaking to people like Steve Kelly, who was doing Through the Wind and Rain, still probably the best ever Liverpool fanzine. I didn't really know much about the one that was the end, the first one. But Through the Wind and Rain made me think I can do that, which is what somebody else in Liverpool once said. And John Mackin, he said, just do it. And he was basically, I think, the inspiration behind Red All Over the Land.
So had you done anything like that before? Were you involved in publishing or writing or anything?
Yeah, I used to do a little bit with the local papers. And then when we had our own local football team, we used to wear all green. So I decided to bring out a regular publication. We called it The Green Machine. And it was photocopied during the lunchtime at work when no one was looking. No one used to bother with the photocopier at lunchtime. So we used to go and get it done. Then I used to spend Friday afternoon putting it all together and just stapling the corner. So it was basically a fold out like that. And it got quite popular. It used to have a pop of people who were playing for us, and we used to do like pen pictures that were totally rubbish and things like that. But yeah, it became quite popular, and we had a pub. We used to use my brother's pub as our base, and people used to come in and and want to look at a copy. They'd have to leave it because we only used to do a few, well, 50 odd, and people had come from other clubs wanted to come in and see it. And referees wanted a copy, so every referee that came to our ground got a copy of the Green Machine. It got us in trouble sometimes because we were saying so many things. The Football Association of Leicester said you can't say that, so it's true. So yeah, So anyway, that was it. And then yeah, we moved on. Then we started having what was more or less like a proper program that again I got printed at work under the counter, and that was but it was still called the Green Machine, and the Green Machine remained live right up until the mid-80s when we decided we'd had enough.
Right. So then you've got the idea for the fanzine. How do you get that up and running from zero to hero?
I'd read most of the other fanzines that were going about, and I used to go travel up and down the country when I was going to meetings for work, and you'd see them in shops. Somebody put half a dozen of them, and they were they're a bit like this one here. That's the current Preston one. A bit like that, and this is photocopied.
Yeah.
So that's how they were put together. And you could see they'd use sellotape and whatever to get it to get the pages all done. But so I just used to read them. I used to think, oh, these are quite funny. And one of the things that baffled me at one time, I picked up a Coventry fanzine. They used to have a player called, I think it was Paul Furlong, and they used to have this thing, and they were taking the mickey out of somebody called 220 yards, and I was thinking, don't get it. And then I clicked when I got home, Furlong, 220 yards. So so I thought, right, you got to do it that way, and because I started Read All Over the Land in 1995, and I decided on the name by somebody saying to me, well, when you do this was about 6 months before it came out. I said, what would you call it? And I just said Read All Over the Land. Never even thought about it. I hadn't thought about it at all. Just said Read All Over the Land, and it stuck. Yeah,
But that Read All Over the Land, that's now part of the sound of match days. Read all over the land, only £2. You hear it, on at least 3 sides of the ground every time you go to the match.
It is. It's a pity that not too many hear it now. But the fan culture's changed. I mean, back in 1995, I would safely say the ground was predominantly full of Scousers and or people from the that part of the northwest. South St Helens or somewhere like that. And we used to get to the ground, and we knew that if we got there at this was for 3 o'clock kickoffs. If we got there at 12 o'clock, we'd get all the Norwegians who were going into the shop, the then shop, and they'd buy it, so you'd sell quite a lot. And then don't know why, but then you used to get a lot of Welsh people turning up, and they'd buy it. I don't know why they all came out, but they did, and that was it. So yeah. We had a routine of get there, get the Norwegians, get the Welsh, and then the locals would come along. And honestly, not one ever asked me, "Is that the program?" They all knew what a fanzine was because fanzines were popular. There was at the time there was 3 with me. There was 3 other fanzines around, and there was 3 Liverpool fanzines around for several years, right up until probably 2010.
And that's when Read All Over the Land became the longest lasting and only surviving Liverpool fans.
No, there was Dave Usher kept his going for a while. Was
that one another Liverpool vintage performance?
No, the Liverpool Way.
Oh, the Liverpool Way, yeah.
Another vintage Liverpool performance only lasted a few months, but the people that did it actually got on quite well because I think some of them still work for the club.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, Steve packed it up and went off working for an Irish newspaper. I think Dave Usher with the Liverpool way stopped simply because he'd had enough of doing the fanzine. He'd got a successful website, still got a successful website, podcast or whatever they want to call it. So he's happy. So I'm the only one now still standing on street corners trying to beg money.
But the thing took off and became huge at one point. I mean, I know I did 2 charity, what was it? Football penalty shootouts. I did 2 of them at half time in Premiership games. I mean, that's the kind of leverage that Red All Over the Land had back then.
Well, we basically used to just go into Anfield, or I could, I would ring up, but I could basically go into Anfield and go up to the offices and say to a wonderful lady called Sheena Bennett, who I think was an Arsenal fan, is Rick in? And if Rick Parry was in, he'd see us.
Right.
So it was more that's not far from the truth. It was basically just knock on the door. Bryce Morrison, the secretary, if we ever wanted any match tickets, he'd say just come and see. His sister used to be in charge of the ticket office. He'd say go and speak to her and get it sorted out. Tell her how I've cleared it. So
Wow.
we could get some tickets. I mean, obviously, it wasn't quite like it is today, where the demand is such. But yeah, we could get tickets.
And you met a lot of people along the way, didn't you? Who were some of the names the doors that it opened?
Oh well, numerous. You mean from within the club and that?
Yeah, I mean, you did an interview in the fanzine with Phil Thompson. I know that was one. You
Oh
went and
yeah,
met him in person.
Phil Thompson, Gary McAllister. Yeah, people like that. Of course, the wonderful, much missed Brian
Brian Hall.
Brian Hall.
Yeah.
Fantastic guy.
Yeah.
Did us so many favours. I couldn't tell you them all. But there's one occasion when one of our guys wanted some Liverpool kit for these poor. I say poor. That's probably being wrong. But the young people who were in Burma who wanted football kits. So it was Sam McMaster who did a hell of a lot for the fanzine. Sam and Lisa, and we went to see Brian Hall and we said, have you any chance of any training tops or something like that? Kit. We just want some kit for these kids. And Brian was a bit of an oddball, and he shot off. He said, stay in, I'll be back. So he went off out, and we were in, can't remember where the office was. I think it might have been in Bootle or somewhere like that. We're sitting in there, and the girls were sitting at the desk, and went up and said to one of them, what do you do? He said, all these letters, they've all been written to the players. This is Fernando Torres' pile. Oh, okay. Yeah, I said, I can't tell you what they're saying in it because it's very rude. So they got all these letters, and they had to go through. They were sifting through them. Which ones they could give to Torres and which ones were basically asking for his undying love in so many different ways.
Wow.
So
Wow.
anyway, then Brian came back, and he got these 2 bin liners, what looked like bin liners, huge bin liners. And he said, there, take them. Okay. What's in them? I don't know. I'm not. I just picked them all up. So we got out, and there were training tops that had been used by the players.
Wow.
And there was one there. It's got RB on it, Rafa Benitez. So
Wow.
we didn't sort these out. I'm assuming Sam got them washed, and Sam took them over to Pearman. I mean, I would say now, whoever he gave them to have possibly only just grown into them. So that's how they were. They were there for. It just took them. They were the training tops. They were dirty. Yeah, and there were some that hadn't been used for a while. Other players had just got them and left the club even. But yeah, we got all these training tops, and took them away. And that's what Brian Hall was like. But
Yeah.
when you did your penalty shootout, it was Brian that arranged it.
Yeah.
And if you remember, we had, I think it was Mick Miller, the comedian,
Yeah.
who was doing the halftime commentary, rather taking the. Michael, should we say, to be
Yeah,
polite,
yeah,
and you all got a full Liverpool strip,
we did.
which at the end of the penalty shootout you kept.
That's right. Yeah, the full
Yeah,
strip, socks, everything. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
for me, I mean, I did it twice. The first time I did it, I was just overwhelmed. I couldn't believe I was running out of that tunnel, touching the sign, the old sign, running out of that tunnel in the full Liverpool strip to a full house at Anfield, and I lost it. I mean, I put the first one wide to the left, I think, and the second one wide to the right. Didn't even get anywhere near the goal, which
no,
is
but
why when
somebody did find that one.
yeah, but it
I
was
think it was
because
at
I
the
was
head.
just I couldn't, it was really, really emotional as something to do. And then when you said the following season you can do it again, and we were raising money for the first year. Was it Parkinson's the
Parkinson's.
first year? Yeah.
Yeah,
And what was
yeah.
the second year? Was it Marina
Both
Dalglish's?
both for Parkinson's,
Oh,
I
I
think.
suppose. And the second year, I was living in Bournemouth by that time, and I got Steve Purchase from AFC Bournemouth to come and coach me once a week on how to take a penalty, because I thought, if I'm getting this chance, I've got to score at the Kop end. I'm not going to blow it again. And the first one, it went in. It was great. I don't know if you'd paid the keeper or anything, John, but
No, no,
the
no.
first.
But the goalkeeper was a real goalkeeper, not like when they have the mighty red in now, who lets them all in anyway.
Oh, right.
No,
Yeah.
the goalkeeper's dream was to save penalties in front of the cop.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
it was just amazing. So with all that kind of thing and the money you've raised for charity, which must be hundreds of thousands of pounds over the years, what are you
not
most? You
hundreds,
don't think it's
no,
hundreds? I think it could be, John. 30 years worth.
no.
It's a lot. What are you most proud of then that the fanzine has achieved?
Um, if I'm honest, Saturday.
Saturday. Well, we're gonna play some videos from
The,
Saturday because it
the
was a
the the
great night.
reason why we had to climb Everest twice to get that on. So in now, if that to me is the highlight, for a lot of reasons. But prior to that, it was when we had Shankly Day back in 1999. We did this again. Rick Parry endorsed it. So did Brian Hall. We called it Shankly Day to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Shanks coming to Liverpool, and we did a fanzine that was two-tone. We had it was half of it was that way up, and the other half was the other way up. So it looked like it was printed halfway off, upside down. And we did basically what fans were thinking back in 1959 when Shankly were coming. All comical cuts like the manager needs, got to get rid of fed up, never going again, and all the rest of it. And then who's this Scotsman they've got from from Huddersfield? It was all done in tongue in cheek. And Rick Parry and Brian Hall said, right, we'll get Shankly's two great teams, the 65 FA Cup winning side and the 74 FA Cup winning side. And we had, there's a video of it around somewhere, we had people like Roger Hunt, Ian St. John, Tommy Lawrence. Then there was the 74 players. There were most of the team from 74 came along, and there's one guy couldn't join in, and so he had to sit in the stand. And that was Kevin Keegan because he was the England manager. It wouldn't have been appropriate for him to have come down and stood in the Guard of Honour. The Guard of Honour was there while we had a piper on the pitch playing Amazing Grace.
Wow.
And all up and down Anfield, there were pubs and even some of the schools had Shankly Day. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was special. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was thanks to the fanzine that something that is now a part of the culture at Anfield, which is the Kop mosaics. That was all
Yes.
started through the fanzine, as
Yeah.
through Red All Over the Land, wasn't it, John? How did that
Yeah.
start?
Well, again, Rick Parry called us in and said, I wanted to start doing mosaics. He'd seen them abroad. And he said to Andy Knott, can we do them? Andy said, yeah, I can do them on my system at work. At that time, Andy had the printing firm. So Andy went off to come up with this idea, and Rick said, I just want red cards. So I said, okay. And so everybody that was in the Cop that day had a red card. And we were playing Sheffield Wednesday. So, but just before the game, there were no prompting or anything like that. Just held up the red card. And everybody turned that way. So they were facing the main stand where the Sheffield Wednesday chairman was sitting, or directed, a guy called David Richards. And the papers said it was Liverpool fans protesting about no memorial at Hillsborough, no thing, and Sheffield Wednesday still basically pointing the finger at the fans. Of course, the club said no, it was the fan initiative. The press were actually right.
Wow. Yeah.
That, it was basically aimed at them. And a couple of months later, we were called back to Anfield, and they said we'd spoken by then to the Hillsborough Justice Campaign, and we'd agreed to do this boycott of Hillsborough.
Yeah.
I think
the away game.
For near enough the final match of the season.
Yeah.
And Sheffield Wednesday thinking, please don't. And so they offered us the entire Leppings Lane end, 5,000 seats. And I think they sold about a couple of hundred.
Yeah.
And the BBC Match of the Day, I can't remember who was commentating, Barry Davis or John Motson, said, the away support shows you how disenchanted Liverpool fans are with their team this season. Yeah, okay, if that's what you feel. But there's quite a lot of us standing around watching the game on their screen in the van.
Yeah.
So we basically went along to make sure that people didn't go in. But I do remember a couple of lads going in and then getting thrown straight out. So I think they'd gone in and done something wrong. So well, that's two that we haven't got to bother about. So yeah,
but I think, and Red All Over the Land is a part of this. One of the greatest things about the culture of Liverpool that is different to other teams up and down the country, not all of them, but most of them, is that things like that come from the fans, not from the club. You and I have been to places like Middlesbrough when they've had a flag day, and it's been the club's organised flag. Come on, wave your flags, and the club's giving out flags. And all that. Whereas at Liverpool, it comes from the fans, and Red All Over the Land has always been the connection between the fans and something organised. Now, there are more now. The Spirit of Shankly, obviously, that do a lot of work, and, there's other things now, but it always used to be the fanzine, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We basically did quite a lot, and we were quite proud of it. And, when we started doing things in the more recent years, post-COVID, these events that we're doing, I thought to myself, you were there, Graham. We went over to Southport. We were asked to go there and basically do something with Ian Callaghan, because they were going to put something on at the Southport Theatre or New Brighton Pier, whatever it was, New Brighton Theatre. But anyway, they couldn't sell tickets, so John Keith asked me if we'd go along and help them out. So I basically rounded up, I don't know, you remember, maybe a couple of dozen people turned up.
Yeah.
But we did a YouTube show with Ian Callaghan first, and it was quite good. Yeah,
it was. Callie was brilliant too. He opened up and he told us tales and Shankly stories we hadn't heard before, and they were all, and they're still online actually on YouTube if you want to check them out. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I thought was, I think that was probably one of our early YouTube shows, and I just thought to myself, again, going back to the Yossi Hughes, I can do that. We'll get the shows going. And initially we worked with the Florrie, which basically they took over. I'm not going to claim any credit for what happened there. And that was with John Barnes, of course. But John had just released his book, and we'd got Alan Green to go along. Oh no, you didn't make it. You were ill.
I was ill on that one.
And Alan Green and John Barnes discussed the book. Well, John Barnes discussed the book. I think Alan said good evening, and that was about it. As we now know. And so, yeah, from there, I just thought, okay, let's go. And we worked with Hotel Anfield, and we're still going to be working with Hotel Anfield. But we've done the one now at the Reds Bar, two at the Reds Bar. Last Saturday, of course, was at the White Star Hotel, White Star Line Hotel. And, you know, an iconic venue, got so many stories. You walked in and the history hits you.
Yeah, it was like being on the Titanic.
Well, it didn't sing, did it?
No, that was good, yeah. Yeah.
No, you did that. You didn't get a deck chair anyway. But it was, so that sort of like rounded off all these recent attempts at doing something good. And
they've been incredible events, John. I mean, and such amazing guests. I mean, Kevin Keegan, Phil Thompson, Ronnie Whelan, John Aldridge. I mean, they've been great. Really, really good.
David Fairclough, and who we had on the show the last time, and fantastic. And this is the thing, you meet people. I mean, when I started the fanzine, John Mackin, he was basically pushing me to do it. Through the fanzine, I met Andy Knott, and then slightly after that, Steve Hales, who's now part of the team, and Martin, who doesn't come to the events, but is part of the team. Plus, of course, yourself, Graham. And not only that, it was through the fanzine I met my wife.
Was it? I didn't know that. What happened? Tell us the story of you and Mary then. How did you meet through the fanzine?
Well, I knew her from my previous employment at work, and then we were playing Nottingham Forest. I think it was in the October of 1996, 7 or something like that. Anyway, 1997, and I sent her an email. I'd only just got an email, and she said, "Oh, you've found, you know what an email is now?" I said, "No, I used to use them at work, but now I've got my own." And she answered it and said, "Well, we're coming up to the game with Liverpool. Can I meet you?" And I said, "Yeah, it's I'll be at Flagpole Corner." She says, "Well, how will I know where that is?" I said, "Just look for a corner with a flagpole on." And I remember her words. She still got that sarcastic touch then, and she still tells me I have. So anyway, as it was an absolute pig of a day. We think we've had some bad days of late trying to sell fans. It was coming down like a monsoon, and before you couldn't sell a fanzine apart from we sold one, and the guy who'd bought the fanzine walked off, and he went like this. So he bought it to cover his head, and at that time it was £1. So he spent £1 on getting something to keep his hair dry. So anyway, Mary did turn up, and with Richard, her son, and we went into the church opposite. The cop used to have basically you could go in there and get coffee, toast, and all the rest of it. Very much a bargain. And so I went in there and got her a coffee, and then a few months later she emailed me and said, "Fancy meeting up for a drink?" We did. Downstairs now.
So in more ways than one, the fanzine changed your life, John.
Oh yeah, I mean, I met some wonderful people like Sam McMaster and Lisa, who used to have the posh seats, as I call them, at Anfield before the main stand was built, and you've been in that area, yeah. And not just then, there was Wally and Karen. So they helped me a lot. They helped me in so many different ways, not just with the fanzine, but in life. So that's all through the fanzine.
Brilliant.
So that's great. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Saturday night was a highlight. We'll get to the video clips from that in just a second. Before we do, we have had some messages. Lee Whizkid, do you know who that is, John, has messaged? Lee Whizkid Lee Whizkid says, "Up the Reds," in his first message. In his next one, he says he's also from Leicester been a Red for 50 years. Danny Clark, 1589. Do you know Danny?
Yeah, it was at the Do.
Was Danny at the Do? Oh,
Yeah.
well, Danny.
Tablers,
Danny
yeah.
he just says happen. I don't know what that means. I don't know why he's put happen. But anyway, maybe he'll enlighten us on what happen means. Unless he meant to say happy and he anniversary and he never got that far. I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll work that out. Okay, we'll talk about Saturday now then, John. And we've got some stuff to watch from Saturday. Going into it, you did say it was like climbing Everest, but now you think it was one of the best achievements, one of the highlights of the 30 years.
Well, I just know what went on before it. I'll be honest, and I'll say that probably just more than two, just a couple of weeks before the event, I went over to Kirby to meet up with Alan and Melissa, who are Isaac's parents.
Yeah, because we were raising money for Wolf Hirschhorn syndrome. That's what it is, which is what Isaac
as I
has,
now call it WSH. Sorry,
yes.
WHS.
Syndrome.
So,
yeah.
And I was prepared to say, look, we've been let down in so many ways. Things are not going right, and I was dragging my chin on the floor. That's how it was, and I was thinking, I'm going to call this off because I didn't want the hassle. I was with them; they were equally disappointed. But when I then thought, no, this is going ahead.
Yeah,
and we didn't set ourselves a target, but we went our different ways. I went back to Chester; they went back to where they are in Kirby, and from that night, that one meeting, I rang you on the Sunday afternoon, Graham, and I said the show must go on.
Yeah,
and we still had a lot to do. We had a lot to get through and fight, but what Alan and Melissa did was they went and got people involved. They got people to cough up money for tables. If they couldn't come, they donated a prize or something for the raffle or an item for the auction. And, you saw the result on Saturday night. I'm not going into how many prizes we got or auction lots. And we eventually got people involved. And when I turned up on Saturday afternoon at 4:00, I just thought, this is it. Now's the hour. Let's see where we go. Mm-hmm. And we still had a lot to do. It was like you'd pulled a couple of goals back at half time, but you still needed another couple to win. Well, we won.
All right. Well, there's some video from the night. This is when ground announcer at Liverpool, George Sefton, the voice of Anfield for 5 decades, this is when he showed up and bumped into John Barnes in the lobby. So I grabbed a quick chat with both of them together. 2 Liverpool legends, George Sefton and John Barnes. How are you guys? You all right?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Not necessarily in that order.
Are you looking forward to it tonight, John?
Absolutely, I'm always looking forward to coming and meeting the fans, and of course I didn't know much about this, but I've heard it's the 30th anniversary. I want to congratulate them, so yeah, we are looking forward to it.
How important are fanzines, do you think, to fans in this day and age of the electronic media to still have like a paper fanzine?
But of course, depending on what age you are, being on the internet and stuff like that, even at my age, I'm not going to talk about George's age, it's difficult. So I still like papers, newspapers, I like physical stuff, so yes. And even for the youngsters enjoy it as well, absolutely.
You're in your late 30s now.
Oh, I wish I was, yeah.
And George, obviously, you have announced so many of this fella's goals. Yeah. Is there one that stands out for you?
I'll tell you what, I never announced any of his goals because that was before we started announcing.
Before we actually announced them?
Not the goals.
People forget that, it's, I've seen plenty. I mean, just...
QPR one, George. That's his favourite. That's my favourite.
Is it? Why is it your favourite, John?
Because it just is my favourite. Why is anything your favourite? I just loved it. That is my favourite goal. You can't explain why. I scored lots of goals. And unlike Ian Rush or Robbie Fowler, real goal scorers who just say a goal is a goal, for me, I have to look good.
And finally, What can we expect from you tonight when Peter Beardsley finally gets here?
Who knows? Who knows? Me and Peter work together all the time, but it's a lot of old stories about our time playing together, and maybe a little bit of rapping at the end between me and Peter.
Yeah, I saw John. It was a Harrogate.
Harrogate, that's right. Me and Peter, yeah.
He did the rap from 1990.
Yeah, so maybe they can get that.
And it's gone in my new book. It's one of the highlights of my year by quite some distance.
Enjoy.
I hope you both have a great night tonight.
mate.
Thank you very much. What a gent. Well, both two gents, but you and I, we know George, but we didn't know John Barnes. But what a top bloke John Barnes is, isn't he? He stayed till nearly right to the end. He even helped out with the raffle in the end. He was brilliant.
Well, I thought he was going to take over the raffle. You know, it was announcing who'd won. You know, with a few caustic comments.
Yes.
I mean, we had one prize that was I don't know what it was, something to do with having your hair cut.
The prize actually was to have your hair cut at the barbers where the Liverpool players go.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Andy Knott won the next prize, which was the creative alcohol bottles of spirits and all that. And John Barnes said, "I think you'd have been better off winning the haircut." But,
yes, there's a word from Andy Knott in a bit, and you'll see why he said that if you've never met Andy. Danny Clark has been back in touch. He says, "Sorry, fellas, we're supposed to say hello all." Hello all was his comment. Okay.
Oh, hello all.
So if you're watching live, you can comment as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Red All Over the Land, the only surviving and the longest lasting Liverpool fanzine. Saturday night at the White Star Line Hotel. Great night with John Barnes and also Peter Beardsley. Now, when he showed up, I managed to grab a few words with Peter before the show started as well. Peter Beardsley, good evening. How are you? Good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm really well. It's always nice to be amongst friends, and I had a special time on Liverpool and obviously on the city of Liverpool.
Now, we saw you a little while ago at Hotel Anfield, and on that one, it was just you. How is it going to be different tonight, you and John Barnes?
Well, because we've got the best footballer there's ever been. I really mean that. So you'll hear as we go on the night, he is the best player I ever played with. So it's we roomed together for 6 years. So it's nice to be back in his company.
Fantastic. And what can we expect with you together?
Well, he'll be funny and he'll be, excuse my words, he'll be taking the pee. And but I'm used to it.
Are you going to stop him rapping, or is that
No.
not? No.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
To be fair, that is one where we don't draw the line. He's in charge, and he will definitely be doing it.
And what about
with
you?
or without me?
Will you be doing a number?
No, I will not. but he will have a video of me on his phone, which he will show to the whole room.
Okay. Well,
Worth looking to.
Look forward to that. Now, John Pearman has been the editor. He was the creator of Red All Over the Land for 30 years. Have you got anything just to say to John?
Well, to be fair, John's obviously the middleman in terms of obviously us being here.
Yeah.
And I've only had a couple of dealings with him, and I don't mean that in a negative way. He's been amazing. Every time he said he's going to do something, we've done it and have gone on with it. And really good.
Fantastic. Cheers. Thanks very much,
problem.
Peter. Another top bloke. And a mention for you as well, John.
Yeah. I like the people in the background.
Yeah, well, it was hectic at the beginning. As you know, on the night, it was pretty hectic at the beginning, and I was just grabbing what I could, yes.
You could never accuse us on this show of being...
professional?
That's the guy walking around with a big chair and...
Yeah. Now... On the night as well, there were a couple of special people. There was Vicky and Regan who have helped us out on, I think it's probably about the last, 6 or 7 events. They've become a fixture.
Yeah, they've basically been to everyone apart from the Florrie. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing with Vicky is it's quite a sacrifice for her because she's an Everton fan. So when I caught up with her and her daughter Regan, that was the first thing I asked her was about, being an Everton fan at what is a very, very Liverpool event. What's a Blue Nose doing in a Liverpool event?
Yeah.
Regan, that's right. That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is the question. Well,
I asked
before
myself.
you give us the actual answer, Regan, what do you think the answer is?
I have to live with it.
You have to.
Yeah.
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
You suffer for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greater good, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, let's get the politically correct answer from Vicky then.
The-
Why is a blue nose involved in Liverpool events?
Because John's a good guy, and he does all the good things, and I think the fundraising for charity that he does, it's close to both of our hearts, and it's an honour to be involved in it, to be honest with you. And a lot of what we do is for Regan. John's opened up a lot of doors for Regan, and she's met a fair number of ex-Liverpool players that she's really enjoyed meeting. So yeah.
I hear recently you met another Liverpool player. Who did you meet?
Alison Becker.
Alison Becker. And what was he like?
It was really fun.
Yeah, what did you get him to do?
I got him how to sew.
You showed him how to sew?
Yeah.
Is he good at it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did he do it like freehand or on a machine?
On a machine.
Fraught with danger. Could have caught his hand in the machine. Could have changed football history forever.
He didn't.
It was all very safe and risk assessed, wasn't it? Yeah.
All
And
right.
he's a pro.
I hope you have a good night and we all enjoy celebrating 30 years of Red All Over the Land.
Definitely.
She's great, isn't she? They're both great. They are both
Absolutely amazing people, and you know, when you meet people like Regan, you feel so humble, and it was the same when Isaac arrived, and you know, you meet this, it makes you feel humble. The last few months I've met not just Regan, but I mean David Fairclough's grandson. Again, makes you feel that humble when you're in the presence of these people who are special. To me, I just think they are really special people, and you know, the world's a better place for them, with them.
Yeah, and you mentioned Isaac, who is now a superstar, and there was no holding him back. We knew he was going to sing at the end. It's Isaac Kearney and his family, Alan and Melissa, made this all happen. But we were at the beginning. We were actually stood around waiting for you to cook. You wanted to get a photo with the team, with the Red All Over the Land team, but you had some issues with tables and stuff, so they were hanging around. But then Isaac decided he was going to put on a show for everybody. Well, also Sally the DJ did help by playing some Liverpool tunes, and this is what happened at the very beginning of the night with Isaac. So that was just before that. That was with Isaac dancing with John Barnes. And then, let's see if I've got the right clip here. Because that's just another example of how good John Barnes was with everybody. Yeah, this is Isaac from the beginning of the night, which was just after that. So Isaac gave us a taste of what was going to come up much later on the night. Special kid, 6 years old, and to have that amount of confidence in a room that big.
I tell you, when I saw that, I called Mary over, and I was near to tears. Because it was so special, and that's what I mean. It makes you feel humble to be in their presence. You know, they so fantastic, and that's what I mean when I said this was the best. This one I'll remember. You know, so fantastic, and what a wonderful, wonderful family. I'm going to say that all night long.
Well, I also caught up with the people who've been involved directly with the fanzine on the night, and you mentioned Steve Hales, and this is what Steve had to say.
There aren't words in the English language to describe John. He's a one-off. He's so talented and so humble with it. And I really do look at it as an honour to have known him all these years. And the things he's done for me personally, I just can't begin to explain.
You must have met quite a few people selling the fanzine at the back of the Albert. Is there a memory that sticks out?
Not particularly. There's just a few like you where the half and half scarves who get on my nerves, and I'll challenge him. In fact, when I sell it now, I'll shout out "Red all over the land, Liverpool fanzine for the fans, by the fans. It's for the real fans, not those who wear half and half scarves."
And it's not the programme, is it?
It's definitely not the programme because it's £2, and the programme is now £4.50. And as a European ad, it's £5.50. So Red all over the land, a lot more reading. It's not politically correct. You'll enjoy it a lot more. So ditch the programme, buy Red all over the land. Helps many charities as well.
So how did you originally hook up with Steve, John?
Well, Steve actually lives in Long Eaton, which when I lived in Loughborough, in a car drive, you're about 20 odd minutes away. And he used to come up to the games and buy the fanzine. And then I used to have a spare season ticket. So he said to me, any chance of me using it? So I used to let him use the spare season ticket. And then he started saying about the fanzine. So he started selling the fanzine. We're talking about 26 years ago, 27 years ago. And when we used to play away, it was fantastic because he could go to the away games and he would sell the fanzines in vast amounts. It's not quite so easy now. You know, the logistics around Anfield have changed so much in the last couple of years, to be honest, with the new fan base that the club like to talk about. It's not a fan base anymore. It's not like it used to be where you sit in your seat at the ground and you knew the guy next to you. You didn't know his name, but for 90 minutes he was your best mate. And then at the end of the game, he'd go his way, you'd go yours. And and Steve and myself got to know each other quite well. Obviously, say he lived close by in one way. So yeah, and then another lad, Martin, who also lives in the same area as Steve. He started to come. So he's been selling for about 25 years. They just asked if they could sell. And nowadays, I'd rip their hands off if they asked to sell. We used to have about 10 people selling the fanzine.
Yeah, wow. Now, also, someone who I first met when he was selling the fanzine, and the bloke that we mentioned earlier, responsible for the mosaics, was Andy Knott, and he also did a cracking painting on the night as well. This is what Andy had to say at the very beginning of the night.
Andy Knott, how long have you known John Pearman?
30 years.
So you were there at the very beginning of Red All Over the Land?
Yeah, I had an encounter with Darren Willoughby, one of the old sellers, at Main Road, because he had the Rush Got One, Rush Got Two flag day leaflets on his front cover. I wasn't impressed because I designed it. Went over to John, I walked down, John said, "Hi John, I'm Andy." He went, "Do you want a job?" So I ended up printing it. That was issue 6. And since then, obviously, not printing it no more, but I'm still designing it, still selling it. And I'd just like to congratulate you, John, on 30 long years of hard, wet, cold toil some days. And it's much deserved, all the accolades you get for tonight.
A nice bloke, isn't he, Andy? Not a good bloke.
Yeah, it was quite funny because I said he told me he designed. He was there with his nephew at Main Road. Last game of the season, the week before the 1996 Cup final, and when he said that's my picture, I thought, oh, looked up at him, and it looked no different then than it does now. Possibly the odd grey hair now in a bit, but he looked. That's how he was then. And I said, well, if you're a printer, do you want to print this? And I went over to see him one day in the summer, and he told me, yeah, we can do this, we'll do that. And then we had some hilarious moments during his time printing it. Like he turned up at one game to bring the fanzines, and he said, what time's kickoff? I said, an hour ago. I said, oh, I thought it was 3 o'clock. So we were kicking off different. So that was that. But there was also, his dad was a wonderful bloke. And one day the Liverpool police had said to me, I can go round, I can be on duty with them before the game. So they showed me how the police operation went. And we were up in the control tower, which is where the scoreboard is now. And this police sergeant, Tom King, says, "Look at that idiot. They're just bloody drawn up. There, he knows it's no parking there." I said, "He's delivering the fanzines." it was Andy Knott's dad. So he escaped reprimand. So yeah, but there's other people that I've met through the fanzine. There's some of the Merseyside police lads, and they've been absolutely brilliant to me. I remember after we'd beaten Everton with the last minute goal from Gary McAllister, the last kick, and I'm walking down away from Goodison down to there's the Walton Lane police station on the corner, and I said to my niece, who'd never been to a game before, I said, "Just don't speak, don't say anything, just don't let them know who you are," because we were surrounded by all these Everton fans, and the police officer was called Ian Workman. No longer in the police force as far as, well, he's not. And he comes out to the station, gets in his car, sees me, and says, "John, what a fantastic victory that was." And I'm thinking, oh dear. But and we still had another couple of 100 yards to go to the car. But we made it. So yeah, and you know, subsequently Ian Kidd, Robbie the Bobby, and now Lilo Max, who's still around today doing it. They've all been absolutely brilliant with us, and they've never given us any trouble or anything. They've always been there for us if we've needed them.
Somebody you mentioned earlier as well, John, from the very beginning of the fanzine, was John Mackin. And this is when I had a chat with John just before it all kicked off on Saturday night.
Who wasn't very well, by the way.
Oh, wasn't he? I couldn't tell.
Oh.
I couldn't tell. Okay, well, here's what he had to say in his chat.
John Mackin.
Hello.
30 years of Red All Over the Land. Tell us how you got involved.
I used to write for Through the Wind and Rain, and the quality control in that was, you could submit something, and if it wasn't particularly topical, take 2 months to get printed, and it would edit it and picked apart. And I got a bit egotistical at the time, and I thought, I'm not having this. So I said to John, can I start writing for you? And everything I sent him, he printed it word for word, so I was chuffed. So that's how really I got to know John. He was sort of my little ego sort of trip, where I was too good for my previous editor and just went to somebody who I knew would print what I wrote.
How important are fanzines, do you think? Well, there's only one now.
Well, one. They are important. Fans need a voice. But what fanzines do over the current climate of podcasts and things is the permanence. You write that thing, you write a joke, you write a good article, it's there for posterity. Podcasts, things like that, they're forgotten the day after they come out. You tweet something, it's a good joke, you might get loads of people, acknowledging it, but they all forget about it on the Monday.
What would you like to say directly to John Pearman to celebrate this 30th anniversary of Red All Over the Land?
John, keep it going, because it's a brilliant thing you're doing. I nearly said we're doing. I haven't written for John for a while, but it's a brilliant thing you're doing. I really love your enthusiasm, mate. I can't. There's been so many knockbacks as a supporter and so many knockbacks as a fanzine editor, but you keep ploughing on, always with a smile on your face, and I just think it's brilliant.
John Mackin.
It might have slightly exaggerated the smile on your face. I've got many memories of John when we've travelled abroad, things like that. I'm not going to, because what went on tour stayed on tour. But John would know what I meant. But and I would say, he doesn't write now for the fanzine, but one of the best contributors we ever had, and he was right. I never used to edit anything because there was no point. It was perfect, and he could tell you, it could make you feel like when you were reading something, like you were there. And there's a book came out in, I think it was 2009. It was called a season on the drink as opposed to the one that was the season on the brink. And John wrote half of it, and believe you me, John's half was fantastic. It really was, and he had a way with words, and he's still got a way with words. And we've got a lot of similarities, and John's family. I can't remember if it's his granddad or what, but his granddad was into boxing, as so was mine. And it might not have been his granddad, but it was one of his relatives called Don Volante. And he used to be a friend of a famous Liverpool boxer called Nell Tarleton, one of the greatest boxers ever to come out of Merseyside. And he also knew my granddad. So I didn't know this until he told me about Don Volante, and my mother had told me about how Don Volante owed my granddad 2 shillings or something. And, I've still not got that 2 shillings back.
Well, it's only been 30 years of the fanzine, John, so 30 years since you've known John.
So things like that. We've had some good times together. Yeah. Brilliant guy, absolutely brilliant guy.
You mentioned how the fanzine has always supported all of the Hillsborough campaigns and was integral in the boycott that got the memorial at Sheffield Wednesday. We were honoured on Saturday night to have one of the campaigners, to have Margaret Aspinall with us. How important was it for her to be there? For you to have Margaret there on Saturday night, John?
Well, I've known who Margaret is or was. I knew all about her. Then I went to a function at the club, and Margaret was there, and I just went up to her and said, "Would you come along? Just come along." And she said yes, and brought a couple of her friends with her. And I just feel like I don't know if you want to say that completes the circle. We've had all the people from. There was a wonderful, wonderful guy, sadly no longer with us, Phil Hammond, who was I think he was the secretary of the families, the Hillsborough families, and he met me back in the very early days, and we contributed to them. We helped. We did our little bit that we could do. He couldn't do too much, but we did what we could do, and I would say now Margaret took over the torch from people like Phil, and blimey, I'll say this now: you don't mess with her, and as you know, she spoke to Keith Starmer, and I can understand him backing away. Yeah.
Well, here's what she told me just before the event about, and that actually comes up. That is part of it. How she spoke to the Prime Minister, and she's been working with him. This was Margaret Aspinall. Quick chat on Saturday night.
Margaret Aspinall, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
Are you enjoying your night so far?
So far, yes, it's been lovely. Yeah.
I'm surprised you found time to get here tonight with all the work you do with the Hillsborough campaign.
Well, it's not just me who does all the work, it's everybody else, and we've got good people behind us as well to help us. But yeah, at this moment in time, it is a very, very busy time. But when people ask you, would you come along and do something or say a few words, I'm only giving a bit of my time because I've had the help from all these people for 36 years.
How are we going with the Hillsborough law?
That is a good question, and I'm absolutely delighted what's going on. Obviously, we're in London again on the 27th of this month because we've had the second reading. Now, obviously, people know we've got to go through other processes to make sure, but when it goes to the royal family, like the King, for him to rubber stamp it. But it's so important, this Hillsborough law, not for the Hillsborough families, but for ordinary people of this country, that injustices, cover-ups should never, ever happen ever again.
And it'll mean that the people, the perpetrators, the organisations, whether that's the police or the NHS or whoever it is,
exactly,
or the post office,
yes,
they won't have a bottomless pit of money to make sure that they get away with it.
Well, that was one of the things I mentioned to the Prime Minister when I had a private meeting with him. I said there was a bottomless pit for the perpetrators, and yet the victims had to go out campaigning cap in hand to the ordinary people yet again to find the funding to help us to get where we were. And I said, that to me has got to stop.
It's not going to get watered down now, is it?
No, but We were in Parliament, I think it was last week, or the week before. We were in Parliament, and one of the questions that we put to the Prime Minister was we'd like him to announce in Parliament that this Hillsborough law will not be watered down. Otherwise, if it is, it's not a Hillsborough law. We do not want to. He made that commitment in Parliament.
Okay. Margaret Aspinall, thank you so much on behalf of everybody for the work you do, and good luck with it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, just another one in a long, long line of passionate Hillsborough campaigners that have got us as far as we've got, but still no justice, obviously.
No,
but,
there'll never be justice, you know, because you can't undo what they've done. And the other week they had Kelvin Mackenzie on news on something on the BBC, and you know, how can you put that man on television when he basically, him and the paper he then worked with, started all this slur, and it's a slur.
Well, I think it probably came from the police, but he was the one that put it out there.
Yes, I mean,
yes.
And you know, there's saying, isn't it? The time the truth get the lies have got running shoes on before the truth even wakes up. They're out there, and people even today still say there must have been something in it, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just scandalous. And it's not. I mean, Margaret was right. It's not just Hillsborough. There was the Grenfell Tower. You know, there was other things. There were things
contaminated
that were going on.
blood, babies, and all sorts of things. All the big organisations. Their main focus is reputational. They try to limit reputational damage rather than get justice for the innocent victims. That's not even in their minds. And if this goes through, it will be illegal, because all of the cover-ups with Hillsborough and all the other cover-ups, the actual covering up and changing evidence, that wasn't breaking the law. It has to be. It has to be. Yeah. So keep going, Margaret. And it was great. She got up and spoke at the event, didn't she, John? She said very similar things. Yes. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to be the Prime Minister when Margaret's got your attention on something important like that. It was great to see her. All right, well, back to the night, and I think the finale of the night was Isaac, but up until that point, the high point of the night was the charisma of John Barnes and how funny he was with Peter Beardsley. And he told us a tale about the world in motion. 1990, in case this is for younger viewers, in 1990, the England team decided to do a song for the World Cup. John Barnes explained that the year before, the one was rubbish and no one was in, so hardly any of the players showed up for the recording. And what it turned out to be, it was World in Motion by New Order. And there was a rap in it. Now, this is the rap that made it into the final version of the song, and this is from the video that was to promote the song. So, just in case you're not familiar with the rap from World in Motion, this is what it was. Hold on, I'm having a little bit of bother getting this up. Let's get that there. This is it. This is just...
You got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you, defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them: get round the back. Catch me if you can, 'cause I'm the England man, and what you're looking at is the master plan. We ain't no hooligans, this ain't a football song. 3 lions on my chest, I know we can't go wrong.
And what he explained was that it wasn't just John Barnes that got to do the rap, was it? They got other players too, and John brought audio of some other players doing the same rap before they decided that John's was the best and that was the one they were going to use.
I don't think it's a hard decision.
No. When you hear some of the contenders, this was Gaza. This was Gaza's version. John Barnes being very kind, I think.
I think you might have mentioned that, unsurprisingly, Gazza had a drink.
Yes. Now, Peter Beardsley
doesn't drink.
No, but Peter Beardsley was in the room, and John Barnes even brought Peter's version of the same rap. I think even Peter would admit that if that was the one they'd used, it wouldn't have sold.
It might have sold a copy in Peter's house.
Yeah, but then John, he did a version for us live, but he couldn't resist winding everybody up at the very end.
Defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them. Get round the back, so catch me if you can. Cause I'm the England man, and what you looking at is the master plan. We ain't no hooligans, this ain't a football song. 3 lions on my chest, I know you. We're playing for Everton. There you go, thank you.
But he was great. Well, and Peter Beardsley was great as well. But just the commitment to the event that John had, I thought was just great. He really just got stuck in, and he surprised me just at how much he committed to the event, John.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people have organised previous events, not so much ours, but I've been to others where basically the star guest has turned up, done his thing, gone home. I can mention a few, but John, we'd finished the raffle, and it was pushing up towards 11 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And John was still there talking to people. I don't know who was driving him home because it was just fantastic and absolutely. He comes across as an amazing guy. And the thing about him, if you look at him now, I can't remember what age he said he was, 60 odd, and he still looks. It doesn't look too much different to when he played. Maybe
in that video, you can tell it's the same bloke for a start. Yeah,
I mean, he made me proud because he doesn't speak, he doesn't answer your messages and all the rest of it, but that's fine. But he did thank me, and that's all you want. He came there. He made people like Regan, like Isaac, and 1 or 2 other people. He made them welcome.
Yeah, well, I showed you that clip of him with Isaac, but he was also, he's having fun with Regan too. He was basically telling Regan she should have Barnes and number 10 on the back of her shirt.
I think we should get her a shirt with Barnes on the back, yeah.
He said I'd pay, but anyway.
But it just shows that and I actually know he was out on Sunday morning doing another event, promotional event for somebody. So, so he puts a lot of time into these things. And as I say, he didn't come and say, right, that's me done, I'm off now, thank you. He stayed, made everybody. He wanted to be part of the night, and everybody wanted to be part of him. Peter stayed quite a long while because Peter had a 3-hour drive back to Newcastle?
Yeah.
So it was understandable that he probably left. It was after 10 o'clock. So
yeah,
people got their. I think people got their money's worth. I will say this: the food from the hotel was amazing.
Yeah.
And I fancied some, but I didn't have time. But it was amazing, and I thank them for that, and I thank them for all their efforts. We had a few disagreements on the way, but all their efforts on the night, they made it what it was. Everyone played their part on the night, and without people working together, it wouldn't have happened. But as I say again, I'll say it again and again and again. Alan and Melissa, they're fantastic. I'm proud to have met them.
Yeah, Isaac's parents. Yeah, just great. And Melissa just worked so hard with the auction and the raffle and everything. She was there all night, and then at the very end, we had the special treat of Isaac in concert. This is just a little part because it was Jamie Higgs was the musician who came in with another musician. Jamie Higgs, and I don't know who the other fellow was, but he was good too.
No, I don't know who he was, but
they'd worked with Isaac before, and this was just a little tiny piece of how the night was rounded off. It was a special night, wasn't it, John?
There's a bit you didn't get on that clip because when he goes, they're all crying into Riddy, he was going like this. If you want someone to inspire you, look no further.
Yeah. Well, you're a bit of an inspiration as well, John. 30 years of Red all over the land. What will the next 30 years hold?
I might not be doing a 60th. I go now. I'll be honest. I go from with the fanzine. I go from week to week, month to month, and hopefully in a couple more years yet. But we've now started working with Alan, Melissa, and Isaac, and the WHS, and for 2026, my commitment is going to be hoping we can help them even further. I can't promise that we'll do what we did last Saturday, but they need every penny they can get. They're a charity. They've not got a big office. They haven't got somebody like David Beckham as their focal point or anything like that. They don't have any of that. They're a charity. Their offices are their homes. So if people do watch this and want to support a charity, support these people because they deserve it. And I'm not talking just about Isaac. There are others, and that clips you showed there of people like Regan and Isaac. They are the reason that I want to keep going and working on these events. They make me feel proud to know them, and that's all I can say.
And Saturday night will make it into the next issue of Red All Over the Land. We've got a sneak peek of the cover. This is what it looks like. That's the front and back. And Isaac is on there with John Barnes on the cover. We got Margaret Aspinall on there and Peter Beardsley. Red All Over the Land supporting WHST. Yeah, just great. So there it is. Yeah.
So we want to work with people again. I don't want to stop now. Let's keep it going.
John, congratulations on 30 years of an amazing fanzine. You know I love it. I always have.
The good thing is I've not aged a bit.
Not a day, John. Not a day.
Not a day.
Congratulations on.
You won't think I was nearly 50.
Congratulations again, John. It's been special.
Thank you so much. I will say this. thank you for all you've done, because a lot of these shows wouldn't be the same. And that is a fact. And if you don't believe me, ask my wife.
Well, my pleasure, John. It's been great. Thank you so much. And remember, as always, to buy the fanzine, and you'll never walk alone.